Hey guys, how's it going? Just got the mic set up. This is my first time using it, so hopefully I have it squared away in a place where it's not going to be too windy or my breath is not going to reverberate off and blow out any of your speakers. As you can tell from the title of the video, I bought a car in Japan, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that, my experience, and what went on. When I was in Tokyo in February, I ended up finding a car that I fell in love with that I had been looking for a long time, and I was able to purchase it, and now it's June and the car is here, and I'm going to go pick up the car later this week. Stick around and I'll show you what the car is, but first let's talk about actually buying a car in Japan, because there's a couple of things that go on that I'm not sure everybody is aware of. I bought a car as an individual, but I did have an importer do all of the importing and paperwork, going through US Customs and everything like that, because that is something that I did not want to deal with. So let's start with actually buying the car. I found the car on carsofjapan.com. I'm sure lots of you guys have seen it. What I did was we were staying in Edogawa, which is kind of like northwest Tokyo, and we found the car in Yokohama and could not make an appointment because to make an appointment to go look at the vehicle, they want you to have either a Japanese address or a Japanese phone number, which of course, being tourists, we had neither. So we went to the dealership the next morning when it opened and pulled out the translation app, and I said who I was, and I exchanged business cards, and I said, I'm here to take a look at this vehicle that I saw for sale. I don't have an appointment, but I would love to get one. And they kind of looked at me skeptically. You could tell they've never worked with an English-speaking person before. They've definitely never exported a car before. And so there was some hesitation, not necessarily to work with us, but on whether we were serious and genuine and, you know, if we were there on good faith. So I said, what can we do to get an appointment? And the person that we were buying the car from said that we could come back the next day at noon. They would have the car prepared for us and we could go over paperwork if we were interested. So that's what we did. We headed home, we regrouped, went and talked to my bank at midnight, and we got squared away where I could get a wire transfer going. That is the next thing to be aware of, is that Japan is a cash-based society. They don't do many things on credit. They do fewer things on loan, and they're expecting you to buy these cars in cash. Now, I'm lucky that my bank does have international transfer that I could get squared away in 3 days. We were able to work that out at the dealership, and there we go. I had a car all of a sudden. We were there the next day, took a look at the car. They hand you some papers. They have a certified inspection. So we looked at that inspection report and everything looked fine. They pointed out all the blemishes and I was okay with that. Car's 30 years old, so I'm not overly concerned about that. But the other thing to remember is once you buy a vehicle, you have possession of it. You are the owner of that vehicle. And so one of the problems that we ran into was, because I'm a tourist, I didn't have a place to keep the vehicle. So what we did is I contacted the import guys up in Ferndale, Washington, and I said, hey, I just bought this car. What do I do now? I don't know how to get it back to the US. I didn't think that far. I got too excited about buying the car. They said that there's basically 4 steps that you have to go through to bring that car back. That is the exporting, the shipping, the customs, and then the delivery. And I said, okay, do it. And Dylan said, no problem. Let me get you a quote. They sent me a quote that evening, and they picked up the car later that week. I, of course, went back to the dealership after that, and I shared my thoughts on the experience, how thankful I was that they were working with me. And I said, you know, if you could prep the export paperwork, I have a truck coming at the end of the week. I won't be here anymore. I'll be back in the States, but the truck will be here, and that is me taking possession of the vehicle. They said no problem, and that was that. I did not hear from Dylan from the end of February until about the beginning of June, and my car is here. So I'm super excited to go get it. They did not make very many of these, and as far as I know, they only ever sold them in Japan. They made 16,000 of them, and this is kind of the later model, one of the more desirable models, at least from a safety standpoint. And it's one that I've really, really wanted for a long time. It is one of those cars that is the inspiration. A lot of other cars take inspiration from this one. And I'm just super, super excited to have it. I'm so excited to go pick it up. It's going to be about a 15-hour road trip for me to go get the car and bring it back. It's up on the, well, Ferndale is up on the Canadian border in Washington on the far west side, way north of Seattle. So that's where I'm headed. So I get to be in a right-hand drive, 5-speed manual in Seattle, Washington traffic for my very first drive of the vehicle. So pray for me if that's your thing, and if it's not, you can laugh at me because I would too. But that's what I've got going on. I will check in with you guys when I land, but this is going to be my car buying experience, and so it's not quite done yet. I've purchased the vehicle, but I haven't really got the vehicle in my possession yet. So one more thing to take note of, those of us who have purchased quite a few cars in the States, I've bought cars from both dealers and individuals. I've had 28 vehicles, so I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to talk about this. You do not negotiate when you buy a car in Japan. They bring you out papers that have the price on it, and you say, thank you very much, because it's a bit of a culture difference. They're pricing the vehicle with the expectation that it is a good sale price. They're going to make money, and you are going to get a great vehicle that has been inspected and all the other things. And they do not price vehicles to gouge you. For instance, the car, without negotiating, was about $5,000 less than anywhere else that I could find it, and it is in great condition. You'll see it when I show you the car, but I just want you to be aware of that. I know sometimes Americans can get a bad rap for how we negotiate as tourists and how we communicate as tourists. And the one thing that you should be aware of when you do go to look at a car in Japan, you're in their culture, you're in their world, and you should be thankful that you're there. You should show gratitude. You should show that you are thankful that you're even able to have the opportunity that they are giving you. And I think that, taking all that in stride, recognizing that you are not the decision maker there, that they are, I think that goes a long way. I'm sure at different dealerships your mileage may vary, but this is kind of a universal experience from what I've understood. And I had no issues finding a great car at a great price. So anyways, that's a quick update. I'm going to check in with you guys when I go pick up the car. But for now, I'm just going to sit here and vibrate over the next 3 days while I wait to go get the car. So anyways, peace out. Sorry for the road noise, but here we are from the outside. So this is my 1994 Toyota Serra with the specialty body kit. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but I know you Serra guys will know. It is a Phase 3. It of course has the butterfly doors. That was the inspiration for the McLaren. And then this one is a 5-speed. So I've been driving this thing around, get some good gas in there, and then I'm gonna grab some fuel stabilizer. Well, as they say, when in Seattle, do as the Seattleites do. So I went ahead and got into bumper-to-bumper traffic, as well as it is pouring rain. So at this current moment, all of the gauges are working. Coolant gauge lost me when I was going about 140 kilometers. So I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna stay that way. But shifting is actually surprisingly natural in this thing. Obviously it is right-hand drive. I'm on the right side of the vehicle. So we're just gonna give it some beans, clutch in, shift, and then we're right back at it. So yeah, this thing actually drives very nice. I can tell I need some fuel cleaner. That's kind of a no-brainer here. It came across the boat with a little bit of rust on the battery, so I got a new battery, and now it's gonna get a little fuel cleaner, and we're just gonna keep heading home. I've got about 5 hours today, and then maybe 9.5 hours on Sunday. So we're just cooking right along. Peace out.